Kevin O'Leary as Conservative leader, the good, the bad, and the ugly. I'm Brian Lilley with TheRebel.Media. I'm already on the record. I don't think Kevin O'Leary should run for leader of the Conservative Party of Canada. But I will say this, his name being floated is creating buzz about the party and the race. That's a good thing, and O'Leary brings some good things to the table as well. Also some bad. So let's look at this objectively. I've no ill will towards this man. I've never met him. I've watched him on TV, and you can't say that you've watched Kevin O'Leary on TV and not notice his stage presence. Before broadcasting, I was in theater, and stage presence is something you either have or you don't. It's like charisma. You can learn certain things, tradecraft, tricks, what have you, but for most people it just comes naturally, or doesn't. O'Leary has presence in spades, and that's a good thing, because to sell a political message, you need presence. You want people to watch you. O'Leary can also sell things. A big part of the job of any leader is selling a political message. He's built a sizable fortune. I don't know how big, but I do know his bank account's bigger than mine because he's been able to sell. He has a track record of success. I'm sure he's got some failures as well, but no entrepreneur has a spotless record, and if they do, they don't take risks. O'Leary also has name recognition. After appearing for years on CBC's Dragon Den and the Lane O'Leary Exchange, he's also been on Shark Tank for years. O'Leary is a known commodity, and like it or not, name recognition matters, especially with swing voters and low information voters. On policy, O'Leary said he's really concerned about the economy. He thinks the feds and progressive provincial governments are headed in the wrong direction, especially the NDP in Alberta. But what kind of policies would Kevin O'Leary enact? Would O'Leary be in line with conservative thinking on what economic policies work best? We don't know. In his initial interview that kicked off the speculation about him running, O'Leary said he's neither conservative nor liberal, but politically agnostic. And he said something similar again this week during a radio interview with Evan Solomon on Ottawa's News Talk 580 CFRA. Solomon was asking O'Leary about bringing the different conservative factions under the roof of one party. Here's part of what he said.
And I'm not a conservative. I'm a Canadian. I haven't declared a party yet.
I'm not a conservative? That's pretty clear, and he keeps saying it, so it is a surprise to see him talking about running for the Conservative Party leadership. But something else shocked me when O'Leary was speaking with Solomon. He was asked about ISIS, and not only did he denounce Stephen Harper's decision to join the international coalition against ISIS, he went running well past the Liberals and NDP and said, we shouldn't fight them at all. In fact, he should negotiate the peace.
We shouldn't be asking to bomb more people. We should be asking to actually go in there and negotiate peace. Canadians can do that. Evan, that's a far more powerful mandate than being a warmonger.
Well,
that's where I'm going to
but on the spot, and I appreciate what you're saying. I only got you for 2 minutes, so I'll do some rapid fire. But does that mean under Kevin O'Leary you pull out? You know, this has been the particular issue. Do you pull out those CF-18 jets from the Iraq-Syria mission? Trudeau wants them out. Harper wanted them in. Where would O'Leary want it?
I want them out, and I want to go in and be the negotiator of the peace. You can't bomb people while you're trying to stand in the middle between both sides.
Look, I get that O'Leary's good at business. I get that O'Leary is, or at least thinks he is, a good negotiator. But how do you negotiate the peace? How do you keep the peace between ISIS, the Assad regime, and other warring jihadi factions all fighting a multi-front war? What's your opening position when negotiating with a group that believes you should all submit to them, be part of the caliphate, or die? O'Leary points to Canadian soldiers walking the Green Line in Cyprus to keep Turks and Greeks from killing each other as an example of what we should be doing in Syria and Iraq. I'm sorry, this is a much different, much more complex, much more violent conflict than what Canadians helped deal with in Cyprus decades ago. And if O'Leary doesn't understand that and thinks he can negotiate with ISIS, then I'm not sure he's qualified to run the party or the country. A couple of other negatives. O'Leary lives in Boston. We all remember what happened the last time a Canadian political party recruited a leader from Boston.
Why is Michael Ignatieff back in Canada after being away for 34 years? Is he interested in people like you? No, instead he brags that he's horribly arrogant, a cosmopolitan. And while away, the only thing he missed about Canada was Algonquin Park. With such a focus on his own success, he's not in it for you or for Canada. He's just in it for himself. It's the only reason he's back. Michael Ignatieff, just visiting.
There are countless clips from O'Leary's years on Shark Tank talking about how he's a proud Bostonian. Those clips will be used in the leadership race if he enters, and in a general election or before by the other parties if he wins. Don't believe me that he lives in Boston? Well, for more than a decade, he's been making donations to American politicians. Sizable donations, and each and every one of those donations is to a liberal Democrat. I'm not talking a centrist Democrat like Jim Webb, Joe Manchin, or Joe Lieberman. No, O'Leary's been donating to John Kerry, Patrick Kennedy, Barack Obama, the Obama for America PAC, and more. That should be worrisome for anyone that wants a strong conservative party going forward. If Kevin O'Leary is changing, if he has moved towards conservative positions that are different from his very liberal past statements and donation track record, then let him come forward and explain where he stands now. But look, being a capitalist, even a successful capitalist, does not mean you are a conservative. And in my mind, leading the Conservative Party of Canada should mean you are actually a conservative.